XCOM. It's a game I love, but objectively, I'm terrible at it. I play it on the easiest game setting, and I still abuse the save reload feature worse than a cheapskate at an all-you-can-eat buffet. At the same time, though, I'm not super remorseful about that. After all, it's a Firaxis game, and if Firaxis has taught us one thing, it's that their games are easy only if you have a Napoleonic understanding of strategy, or you pray to Sid the Savior for salvation. So I decided to do things my way and cheese the hell out of the game engine. We're going to push the damage output as high as we can today, so if you have a soft spot for sectoids, it's best to look away. If you watched my previous video, and statistically you have not, we can thank our lucky stars, because unlike Fire Emblem, there are less pieces to consider when trying to maximize damage in XCOM. That's largely because it's not how dead you kill the aliens in this game, but how many you dead. Speaking of Fire Emblem, I want to take a second to add a little caveat to my previous video, which is a fancy way of saying I fucked up my calculations. When trying to consider all the pieces, I dropped the ball when it came to considering my castle battles. I'm honestly not sure why it never crossed my mind, but it does change 2 points to my previous iteration, which adds a total of 3 damage onto the real world number. Secondly, the My Room building provides for a plus 7 damage inflicted in battle. Inflated with critical, this grants plus 21 damage to the final hit in both cases. Which just goes to show you, I am fallible, math should be double checked, and if you notice me making mistakes in videos, call me out on them. It only makes the math and the pain more complete. Great! Now that that's all square, let's get back to protecting Earth. When I said sectoid fans look away, that was a little misleading. What I actually should have said was sectoid commander fans look away. Or really, any enemy that has at least 5 HP. But in this theoretical, I'd still like to kill a sectoid because, come on, you know it's the most satisfying to slaughter the most classically Martian-looking invader. They may be from the red planet, but we'll paint our world red with their blood. Or more of a luminescent yellow-green if we're going for accuracy. But metaphorical red because humanity. So let's talk setup. XCOM, Enemy Within, and we will be using Enemy Within even though there's not really any difference that playing Enemy Unknown would make in this case. So it doesn't really matter that I mentioned this in the first place, but either way, XCOM Enemy Within has 6 core unit types, as well as 2 augmentation setups. First up, we have Rookies, who are useless after the first mission and only serve to be promoted to a special class. Assaults, who are more reliable than Everyman Joe. Heavies, who make things go boom. Snipers, who mix distance and death. And supports, the sci-fi equivalent of the standard staff bitch. The final class is the mech, which is just hilariously good, but has to give up their previous class and skills to become one. The further augmentations are genetic, with skills that range from useless to neck saving, and psionic mind power soldiers, which are just kind of there. Now, in normal play, all the class types are useful and the most powerful in different situations, and beating the game requires balancing their strengths and covering their weaknesses, and then eventually you just smash everything with a mech. But in our magic void of math, where numbers and nonsense are king, it is the Everyman Assault class who we will herald as our champion. Now this is for a couple of reasons, but primarily it's the conjunction of 2 skills. The first of which is called Bring 'em On. It provides a +1 to damage for every enemy in sight up to a maximum of 5. This skill is great for normal play, where more often than not you'll be juggling a fight between several aliens at once, and this helps to bring them down that much faster. What's even better is that if you play a randomized skill tree run, anyone can potentially have this skill. The second skill we have our eye on, though, is an assault exclusive, or at the very least, its situational setup demands an assault. The skill in question is called Killer Instinct, which provides a 50% crit damage bonus when an assault has used the skill or run and gun in the same turn. A brief word about run and gun. It's the assault class skill for the squatty rank, the first rank when a soldier is promoted to a special class. Even on a randomized skill run, squatty skills are locked to their true class to help structure their class strengths. Because of this lock, we need an assault because that beefy 50% is too good to pass up. Let's go a bit more in depth about how criticals work in XCOM, because sadly they're not just a 3x juggernaut like in Fire Emblem. Each weapon has a damage range and a critical range. The critical range is fixed on top of the damage range. For instance, the weapon we want, the alloy cannon, has a damage range of 8 to 10, with a critical range of 14 to 16. Now the range between these 2 sets of numbers doesn't change. The critical amount is added onto both numbers equally. In our case, the critical bonus for the alloy cannon is 6, and this is where our Killer Instinct bonus comes in. It doesn't add 50% to the total of 16, it's another 50% on that 6 critical base, which evens out to another 3 points of damage. And now, believe it or not, we're all set for our final tally. Didn't I tell you this would be much less of a headache? So let's get started. An XCOM squad has sightlines to 5 enemies. A heavy unit launches a shredder rocket at an alien who has at least 5 HP remaining, shredding his defenses. And this is why before we wanted an alien with at least 5 HP, because the shredder rocket does 4 damage, and when you use a shredder rocket for the next few turns, any alien that was hit with it will take a third more damage. An assault activates Run and Gun and has the skills Bring 'em On and Killer Instinct. They're carrying an alloy cannon and attack the shredded alien. If they land a critical and hit to their high-end damage range, they'll obliterate our sectoid friend for 32 damage. That's enough damage to one-shot the final boss of the game, the Uber Ethereal. So yes, it's not nearly as impressive as Rajat, but like I said, XCOM isn't about how hard you dead him, it's about how many you dead. Also, it's about mechs. Hey there! Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, you could click a variety of buttons that signify to me as much. Like these ones, for instance. If you noticed I made mistakes, let me know. Here's a box that lets you. If you want me to math another video game and have a specific one in mind, use that same box. Thanks again.